The bigger lobsters, the meat really doesn't get tough, so you can eat a nice big 2-pound lobster, 3-pound lobster. It's phenomenal stuff. Always make sure that the rubber bands are intact. They'll snap your thumb. Like this crusher claw right here could break the bones in your hand.
Really? He's
no
like trying
problem.
to get you.
He's totally trying to get me. In fact, if you know a little bit about them, these animals are not only scavengers, but they're also predaceous. This crusher claw is there for a reason. He'll find clams, he'll grab one in that crusher claw and just boom, explode the whole thing, and then his little eating mouth parts come out and just grab the little bits of clam all in the ocean. So the next thing is to look for whether it's a male or a female. These are called swimmerettes underneath his tail. The last pair of swimmerettes are right here. If the swimmerettes come up in a pattern like this, it's like female, like no. Right? if they come like this, it's male, like yeah. Right on. Okay? This is female. This is male. Because they come up together. They're not in an X, like no, stay out. Okay? Here's the only reason you would possibly want to know if it's male or female. Is inside of the animal is the roe, and on the female, if you're looking to get the roe, then try to purchase the females. The roe from lobster, this long jade green sap, turns amazing colors when cooked and tastes like nothing. Tastes mad. It's not that great, so I've never really used it. Chef Michael Scott likes to make it into like a butter. He spins it into sauces. It gets some color, but I've found the flavor is. I've eaten it and like, why do we even say this? All right, so remember, no cerebral cortex. He's going to feel pressure, and then it's going to be lights out for him. Parts are still going to move after I do this from nerves. There's several ways where you can do this. You can take a knife and just cut him right down the middle. Okay. You can cook him whole. Just, right into my big silver pot kind of thing. Just cook him whole. In Germany, we would take them and we put two together like this and then tie them so that their tails remain straight, and then we would cook them whole. At the Nell, we would rip them apart, which I'm about to do, and then cook the parts separately. And the reason we would rip it apart is because the tail takes like, 4 or 5 minutes. This one's going to take 6 minutes. This one takes like 8 minutes. So by breaking them apart first, breaking them apart first, I can then cook the tail separately from the claw and all that kind of fun stuff. To do our lobster bisque, we're going to break him apart, and then we're going to brown off his parts, right? Pick the meat from the shell and continue to make the stock. So the first thing I'm going to do is separate the thorax from the tail. There's a gap right here where his tail ends. I'm going to get my fingers tight in there and just simply twist.
He's giving it to you.
Then I'm going to take each claw and rip it in half. Then I'm going to take the head and open up the head. This is all going to happen in about 5 seconds. He's going to go into shock when I first rip him in half. He's not going to feel anything after that. It's going to be lights out for him. If you see the way that nurse sharks feed on Australian warm water lobster, the nurse sharks come behind the lobsters, grab their tails, bite it off, eat the tail. The rest of the carcass goes hobbling away as a myriad of small fish come and eat its guts as it's trying to walk away on the ocean floor. Mother Nature's a little cruel to these guys. So firm hand, grab the tail and twist.
Oh yeah!
Grab the claws and snap. Grab the head and separate. He's dead. Okay?
Except he's still moving.
It's okay.
This part right here is called... This part right here is called the tamale. We're saving that.
That's the tamale.
This is the tamale. Those are the guts. Okay.
That was gnarly.
In here, there's going to be more of it. I like to remove these little gills. Okay. I like to remove these gills because I find they taste bitter. On your frozen shells, the gills have not been removed, so we just have to deal with it. Okay. When I make this stock, I like to remove the gills. The heart on this guy is located where most animals' brains are located.
Is it still beating?
It's just...
Oh my god!
Oh, nice.
No, it's like a chicken.
Not anymore.
Well, I mean, it's just moves.
Okay, so all of this stuff right here, this is awesome for stock. This is awesome for stock. The tamale is good for stock. We're going to throw away the gills. Next step to this is we want to get a utility knife out here. Who's got a utility knife? Or does the kitchen have a knife? like that's
What
not
kind
one
of-
of your knives.
Not a paring knife.
Any kind, any big knife that I can cut this in half without dulling somebody's French
There's
toast.
some over there. I would think.
There's none over there. You don't have a utility
They're
knife
over there by the fryer.
by the fryer.
I think.
Would you grab it? Now that he's dead, we can take off the rubber bands. Don't cook the rubber bands in the stock. Rubber doesn't make a good rubber stock.
Well, it makes a perfect rubber stock.
Correction, it makes a great rubber stock. Doesn't make a good lobster stock. Is that right, Chef? Yeah, that'll work. All right, so now I'm just going to take my knife and I'm going to cut this tail in half. The reason I'm doing this is so I can get to the viscera. Just like a shrimp, it's going to be right down the middle.
You remove that.
Remove, vein that whole thing. Now that's ready to be browned off in a pan. These are ready to be browned off in a pan, and we reserve the heads for making the stock and the tamale.
Oh god.
Okay.
When we're done browning this up, we'll be removing the flesh from the shells, and then we will save these shells for making the stock. Okay, so the first step, guys, is break down your bugs.
Can I do
Next step is, I've got one per team right now. Next step is to, so guys, pay attention. First step is to break down your bug. After you're broken down, you're going to brown all of this in a pot. Once the meat looks like it's cooked, whatever has meat, pull it out, meaning this piece, this piece, this piece, this piece. Pull it out, get the meat out of it, and then put the shells back in and reserve the meat. Clear?
Clear.
This tamale, save it. We're going to put that in there with the lobster as it's browning.
All right, that was Chef John Percarpio, y'all.
What are they?
Murdering lobsters.